Hey, I'm Mr. and welcome back to MXGP3 as we are heading to Italy as we've got a challenge from Jeffrey Hurland. We've got to get 40 points as well, but can we continue our form that we showed on our TM debut in Germany? So here we are in Italy, around one of the most difficult tracks on the calendar. It's got a hard surface, it's very difficult offline, as we showed last year. As there's the massive jump as well. Look at all the undulation and tight corners as there's the finish. As here we are going for our qualifying effort, approaching the final corner. As whoa, what is the Brit doing? Blocking us off, get out of it. As here we go, trying to qualify around this very tricky Italian circuit. As I said, perhaps the most difficult on the calendar, with all this undulation, tight corners with the track surface as well. You don't want to be qualifying near the back or have an issue in the race. It's going to be very tough to make up positions during it. So hoping for a good qualifying effort here. And look how deep that run is in that corner. Really got to hook that up to make good on that corners. You're seeing there's a couple of blind corners here as well, which can really catch you out. Let's go over that massive Monster Energy jump there. And they're going around this sector. It's a bit faster, but then they return to a tight hairpin. And then a bit of a tighter section here. A bit narrower. And then you've got a massive climb here up the hill. You'll be careful of not weaving out of that corner, which we kind of did a lot in MXGP2. Now again going up the hill and then another tight hairpin. Down the first. Then down the hill once again, and another hairpin. You can see it opens up a bit more though. They've got some massive jumps. Taking that in 5th gear. Just to be careful of keeping the line here. Don't want to be going off track. Very easy to do that. Then another 2nd gear corner as we approach the end of this lap. Seems like this track is a bit faster again than in MXGP2. Again, the modding a bit better here than it was the game when the previous game engine in Unreal 4 was a bit better. So I'm not going to tempt fate by skipping the session. I'm just going to skip the time here. As you did do the fastest time of 39 for that. And that's going to be fastest just from the Swiss rider on the Suzuki. And then we got the Yamaha, the Frenchman, our main title rival so far. But there's Howland's our rival for this race, in 4th on the KTM for this round. And then we got the Brit in 5th, who was blocking us on that qualifying effort before we managed to get away. And Tonkov in 6th on the Yamaha. On the Husqvarna, Covington in 7th. Fernandez, the top of Kawasaki, in 8th. Boge is in 9th on the KTM. And Petrov in 10th on the Kawasaki. Just pipping out my teammate in his home round on the TM in 11th. Vianas in 12th on the KTM. So a very interesting grid. But let's see if we can follow through in the race and take another victory. As here we are lined up, preparing for a very difficult race coming up. And it looks like Monticelli's getting the TV time in his home round. As we rev up, hold in the clutch, get up into 1st gear a bit early, and then totally make a Horlicks of the start. As we of course drop down to last, definitely not ringing the whole shot here. But as I say, we want to be making the moves up early in this race, because it's very difficult to make the moves up later, and that is not how you're meant to do it. As now we've got a mountain to climb in this 5 of that race. So we try and make the moves around the outside. Oh, we got forced out there. Here we go through the middle of the pack. We can see, is that Siwa on the Suzuki as well, who qualified 2nd. He had a horrible start as well. Just bashing away up towards the top 10. Oh! Someone's trying to bash their way back past us. We're not having any of that though, the hammer. You not treat the hammer like that. You'll hammer you back. That's right, in 14th. Is that the Brit right in front of us as well? What is happening to the front runners in qualifying? So back with the Husqvarna. Make it up into 13th and land on someone. Very realistic this game, as you can see. They dive down the inside into 10th. That's the move. That's what we want to be making all race long. There's our teammate. Going on deity. Getting us by into the top 10. There's all the Swiss riders down on the Suzuki. That was a horrible corner. He might have blocked our teammate there, unfortunately, forced him back outside the top 10. But these massive mounds, this is where we're going to be making up time. Look at this. Breezing past everyone into SIP. Oh, nicking down the inside. Oh, can we make it into the top 5 by the end of the first lap? A recovery. Massive recovery. I said it was going to be hard to make passes on this circuit, but now we're making it look easy as we go into the second lap of this race. There we go, drifting into that corner nicely. Running wide. That's like the KTM out of nowhere. Is that Bogies? Where did he come from? Did not see him at all. Because it was so easy to go wide in that corner in MXGP2. A bit easier in GP3. That's why everyone's making moves in the first half of this lap. Obviously in the second half where we're a bit better. Oh, we got into the back of the KTM. I'm surprised we both lived to tell the tale there. As I've got short shifted up to 5th there before that jump. Much better to have safer revs there then. Oh. Just keep gunning it in 4th gear as we make up that position back into SIP. And oh, the Brit's down on the Husqvarna. What is going on this race? Some of the front runners have enough total there. Well, the Hammer is having a very decent run. I would even take SIP around this track. I'm not sure we've got all the right front running pace. I cannot get that corner right though. That right-hander, that's something I'm going to have to work on for the rest of this race. Don't perfect it for races. Oh, we landed on the Belgian, no! That's equal of burnout there. That was an aerial takedown. That's all, we're using a grandstand to make moves now and keep on track. We're coming to the end of the second lap. So after XP boost, after taking down the Belgian rider, we're in 5th. Let's approach the halfway mark of this race. As you can see, it may have been smooth sailing on the first lap, but once you get to the front runners, you can see it gets a lot trickier to be making moves and getting up the order. Look at that Versus run away from the pack. And oh, this guy once again into that right-hand hairpin. What does he... Oh, leave us alone during that corner. Oh, Gederman's down, our former teammate. Is down on the KTM. Unfortunate for the Belgian, looks like he had a decent run for once. Aiming for the top 10. That's how crazy this race is. There's oh, make it into 4th just about. Oh, hello. Not taking no mounts at all properly. There we go. Slide it in 2nd gear into that corner. The track surface being a bit looser as well than it was in MXGP2. It's as hard as a rock. Couldn't really get the back end out like you've seen in a couple of corners and control the slide. And oh, that's not how you meant to do that corner. There we are in 4th, approaching the podium. So this track a bit better than it was in MXGP2, a bit nicer, a bit more rideable. You can see, much more passable. As we come to the end of the lap, we snuck into the 39s I've seen. In the top right, didn't even notice that. And now we snuck into the 38s, we're definitely on a run. And look at the top 3 are crowding in front. He's gone to penultimate lap of the race. Put the Hammer. You're getting a podium. As all the Brits down again. A horrendous race for the Husqvarna rider. One of the title favourites before just the beginning of the season. We almost go down ourselves there. Struggling to hold on to the bike. Oh, we did not get into the rut there. We did not get into the groove in that hairpin. Poor corner. Once again, carrying too much speed, it feels like, into that tight left-hander. A blind corner, you don't really see where you have to go there. It's very difficult to judge. We haven't really judged it well at all this race so far. Oh, we are gaining hand over fist on the top 3. I never thought I would win round this place. Much less, you know, MXGP2, but now MXGP3 I thought it'd be just as hard against our opponents, but proving not to be in this race, despite that horrendous first lap. Having issues right at the tail end of the field, a poor start. So that's a bit better during that right-hander. Hooking up that apex early seems to work well. Get into that groove. That's how we make it into first. That past Herding's our rival. As in this side, we've got a Frenchman who's leading. As we approach the end of this lap, going on to the final lap of the race. We're in a podium spot, and the Hammer is motoring. That's not how we meant to do that final combo. We dipped into the 37s. He just keeps getting faster as this race goes on. As there we go, hooked up that left-hander for once. And oh, that was lovely. Into the next left. And looks like we're getting into a very nice rhythm here. Yeah, that short shifting from first up to second so we don't get that horrendous wheel spin like you saw at the end of the previous lap. And now we're banging handlebars for second. There is first right in front. Could this be a win right from the back? Around the track, I did not expect to do it at all. It's our French rival, I believe, on the Yamaha. As we dive down the inside into the left hander. We're trying. Oh, he's forced us wide. He's being aggressive. He doesn't want to relinquish this lead to his main title rival. Especially as he's held the lead of this race for a very long time. Not like he's running away with it at the halfway mark. He's been dragged into a battle on this final lap. There's too much speed. On the ace of the right hander, got too aggressive on the apex. Here's the time where we can gain on the Frenchman. Perhaps make a dive down the inside. Oh, not quite. It's going to be a final corner. Do or die maneuver to win this. The Hammer does it. Oh, is he going to grab it on the line? Oh, who's won this? Who has won the first race in Italy? I could not tell. The Hammer does it by 200ths of a second. He beats the Frenchman just about, and that was the Swede on a Hammer in third. Great race from Osland with Hernan's fourth, Jonas fifth, Bogus sixth, Donkov seventh, Monticelli eighth, Bernardini ninth, and the Belgian returning after his head trauma received from the Hammer in 10th, with Petrov 11th, and the Russian Kawasaki in 12th. But what a finish! I cannot believe that. So we got the 25 points for the win in the first race, just about. But can we win the second race and make it another? Overall, definitely improved our skills that race. And so here we are for the second race. Leaning back, being very relaxed out of this race after winning that first one. And so there's a South African joining in with the TV time, with the Italian. And so we go right up to the gate, holding the clutch, get away. Just as dreadful as the first race. But and we took down our teammate, Bernardini. No! As Hurling's got the whole shot, Gederman's down as well. We're taking out all our teammates, old and new, as he dived for the lead on this first lap. Very aggressive is Hillman, and he has taken the lead. Oh my god, I can't believe we took out a teammate on home turf as well. The Hammer might not be able to leave this race alive. There may be an angry mob as he heads for the exit. Seeing their fellow countrymen taken down by the Hammer. There we go, try and have an easier race, I think, than the first one. Definitely the most exciting race I've had so far this season, that first race, and what a result. From the very back of the field. Now in the second race, we've got the opposite job to do. We've got to be in the lead and hold on, unlike our French rival did in that first race. Just manage our pace. Don't make any mistakes. Just keep it on an island. Keep in that zone. And just keep going for the next 5 laps. As we're approaching the end of the first one. And it feels like we've already got a nice lead. Oh, that must be lovely being that grandstand, seeing all these riders just fly by. Just to be here at the finish line. With some epic finishes as well, as you saw in that first race. As you're going on to the second lap, basically just managing the pace here. You can see with the track surface as well in MXGP3 how much difference this track is with the ruts. As I said, you've been able to dig in with the tyres, and like you wouldn't be able to in MXGP2. It's like you're floating on marble. Well, this is like, it's like marble, but it's got some crushed bits now where you can dig in. So, oh, get him, Eden. What are you doing? Down again. Difficult race for the Belgian rider after a promising first race, just not getting the result he wanted. And again in this second race, he's having the round from hell here in Italy. But we're maintaining our lead. You can see our rivals to our right hand side as we're going up and down the hills here. Crazy undulation. And oh, hello. Is that hurling to come to play? You're just another little zone here. Enjoying riding around. Well, no, so we've got a playmate. I thought our lead was comfortable. Appears it's not. I was just cruising around in the lead. As oh, bogeys! Another Dutch KTM rider is down. So did a mid 37 there. Not as fast as I'm opening that though. 37 for that. Probably should have done that opening up a bit slower, but I'd like to see what that time's doing now without them in clear air. And so I'll try to keep an eye on that in the top right as you go across the line. At the end of each lap, get down to first gear there, up to second. As you saw, if you try and really in first out those corners, it's not going to end well. This is on that first race. Got some good flare action, not the best. Fantastic seeing the dust though, just hanging in the air as you're approaching these jumps. They're really showing off how good this engine is. That's, oh, Pepe is down. I believe he's a home rider as well. That's all, we get reset in the worst places, right? We've got to get up a hill to build our speed up. So halfway through this race, and now we're in second. We've got a challenge on our hands. With Herding's way ahead of the rest of the field. Got a class of 2 once again in this second race. But it's not the Frenchman on the Yamaha. It's the Dutchman on the KTM who we are hunting down as we approach the end of this third lap, approaching the penultimate lap of the race. There's, oh, wonderful jump there. As Petrov is down, oh, our Belgian buddy on the Kawasaki. Disappointing to see as we did a 41 there. Not what we want to see at all. Want a consistent 37-38 pace. More on the 37 side. So you can jump and just let off the power to go into that next corner. Get up to fourth, down to third, up to fourth again. God, we really do have to chase down Herding. Look at this, he's built a couple second lead off the back of our mistake. Getting reset. And oh, are we going to reset again? No! Look at that. Skate 4. Featuring bikes. You've just seen the world exclusive gameplay teaser there. Can't believe I survived that though. Thought I'd be reset. Just look at this, we're just keeping it in second now in those tight corners. Very wary of what happened in that previous lap, and we are gaining on Erlins. Oh, we're going to have another classic finish on our hands here. There's no one else is coming out to play. Being very cautious into that right-hander. Oh, there's some good flare action as you get towards the end of the lap. You can see either side. Lovely trees and a mountain as well. Let's see, we go looking down the inside of a Dutch rival. Oh, Hillman too far back. As Covington is down on the Hasbro and the American having a decent weekend, at least until that moment. As I think that was the Yamaha in third as we dipped into the 36s. 36.8. It's going to dip into the 35s on his final lap, is he, Hillman, to win this thing. As he has been the class of the field all round long in qualifying, in the race, the first race. In the second race, as always doing a wheelie, he's celebrating too early. What are you doing? Not the time to be really in. That's the hammer. He's got to get to business on this final lap if he wants to win this. He's got a half-second gap to Hurlins. Or at least I believe that's Hurlins on the KTM, and now alongside our Dutch rival. He gets the exit, but then we've got the mounds and we grab the lead. This final lap. Once again, those mounds coming to our rescue. Ridiculous advantage we have over them. Now back in the lead. Just as long as we don't get reset, this should be the Hammers race and another win, another overall. He's just dominated the MX2 class ever since being a wildcard in Latvia. As we're hearing some clapping as well. I'd say on our left hand side there. There you go, approaching the penultimate corner. Jump for the fans. Another final corner. Now we're hearing claps on the right hand side. Stop it, you're distracting me. As he almost got into the 35s, a 36.3 on that final lap. For the hammer to win it all. By 1.5 seconds from Erlins. Jonas in further that film with a return to form there on the KTM, just ahead of the Frenchman in fourth on the Yamaha. And then you got loads of the Yamahas. Tonkov in fifth, the Belgium in sixth. Much better after recovering from that quick concussion. He had a concussion of that first race, recovered quickly, and it looks like in the second. Monticelli, the top Italian on home turf, in seventh on the KTM. Sussrider in eighth on the Suzuki. On the Honda, top Honda, ninth is the Frenchman from nowhere. Gets the top 10. Fantastic job with Covington 10th and Osland not able to back up that podium in the first race. In 11th on the Yamaha, and then the South African and KTM in 12th. As overall, it is Hillman ahead of Herdens and the Frenchman in third, Jonas in fourth, Tonkov in fifth, Osland 7th, Monticelli 7th, Belgium 8th, Bogues in 9th. A disappointing weekend for the Dutchman. And the Swiss rider in 10th alongside Covington, and Neres, my teammate, in 12th. A shocking second race after a poor first one. So in the championship, a 57-point lead. Almost 100 points ahead of Herdens, 89 ahead of the Dutchman. And over 100 ahead of Bogues in fourth, the Brit in fifth. It's already a 2-horse race. It might be even a 1-horse race already. As Hillman is way ahead of the pack. But I hope you enjoyed that Italian round, especially that first race, battling like a hell through the field. And I will see you in the next round. Can Hillman just continues form on this TM? Start watching. I'll see you then.